We have done this in the past, and it's always been very successful. So wanted to get a panel of people up here, 2 growers with us, also Hayden Fox from 21st Century, and somebody from John Deere as well. Hopefully find this valuable. We're going to focus on precision upgrade kits, which you've heard a lot about here today, hopefully, and also just technology in general and where, these growers have seen that come from and where it's going, and also how we as a dealer and an equipment manufacturer can also help as well. So we'll start out with just some introductions. I'm Mike Wimhoff, Executive Vice President, Precision Technologies for 21st Century Equipment. Lucky to have a wonderful team of folks that you've heard from today, experts in the technology area, working with us and with you to be able to provide support and capabilities for the technologies on our equipment. So, Hayden, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'm Hayden Fox. I'm our lead product specialist. I work out of our Burlington, Colorado office, but I travel far away from there a lot of the times. So,
I'm Stetson Shreve. I farm Alliance, Nebraska, and then down by Chapel, Oshkosh. Grow corn, sugar beets, dry beans, wheat.
I'm Alex Rock. We farm South Array, my wife and my family, or my parents and 3 boys. We farm irrigated and dry land and have a feedlot, mainly corn, wheat, pinto beans, millet, alfalfa.
Hey everyone, my name is Wyatt Schrog. I am a precision upgrade specialist with Deere. I am based out of Dallas, so I support our dealers down in Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Mississippi, anything precision upgrades.
Thank you all for being here. We really appreciate your time and input here today. I guess maybe just to get things started, specifically for Stetson and Alex, how has technology shaped your operation and how has that changed most recently and even as you've led up to some of your most recent technology advancements?
I like the idea that as a farmer, we cannot control anything, any of our prices, it seems like. The amount of inputs that's about the only thing we can control. And with this new technology that's been coming out, where we use less seed, less fertilizer, less chemical, hopefully less fuel, it really adds up in the end. And if a guy can't afford or doesn't want to pay for a brand new piece of equipment to get that technology, these product improvement or product upfit kits really help so you can get the new technology on something that may not be brand new and still benefit from the savings.
So I guess you both have See and Spray machines. Talk a little bit about why that technology and what that's done for you most recently, and also what are your plans for that in the coming years?
I guess just the savings on it. We're doing pivots, corn, and had multiple pivots that we were saving 85% coverage on, which is a pretty tremendous deal on corn. And we're looking for sugar beets, but the corn has been really impressive how it worked. Don't do much fallow, but seems like it paid for it there.
Yeah, I've seen a huge savings on corn alone. Just with, for instance, Status is extremely expensive broadleaf herbicide that seems to be the only thing in standing corn that you can really use to take care of, like pigweeds, for example. And an 80 to 85% savings is huge. And if you do that on 1,000 acres, I mean, it pays for the See and Spray, it seems like, in 1 year, if not 2 years at the most. Well, we've seen.
Yeah, then, on dicamba, you have dicamba ding on your corn. Save 85% of hitting that corn. You don't have, nearly the green snap or anything else on that part of it.
You're right. And also by spraying just the weeds, you're not dinging the crop, if as you will. The crop doesn't have to metabolize that herbicide out. So it's, in theory, I would like to think that you'd get a yield bump maybe or something from that, just because the plant might be healthier because you're not applying that chemical to it.
And maybe from the dealership side and the manufacturer side, can we just talk, I guess, what are the precision upgrade kits and how have you found them successful, Hayden, in supporting our customers from the dealer?
Yeah, so these guys' success stories is pretty similar to what we're seeing over the last couple of years. So John Deere released See and Spray precision upgrade kits for 90, 100, and 120 foot sprayers here a couple years ago. Since then, we went from 8 to 58 See and Spray sprayers, and what we've seen over time is a lot of what these guys are saying. Yeah, the savings up front is huge, but as you're thinking about long term, how can we use that as a crop health tool more than just a money saver in a lot of cases? And to these guys' points, there's some third-party data out there, and we've seen it with our own growers and crops, that there is a yield advantage to See and Spray as well as a savings advantage, obviously.
Yeah, and the only thing I might add to that as well is, See and Spray might look a little bit different from year to year on your operation. You look at last year, at least down in the south, it was a very wet year, and whenever folks were able to get into the field, they were most likely going to spray a residual because they didn't know when they were going to get in the field yet again. So maybe on some drier years, you might be able to get into the field a little bit more, and See and Spray might become a little bit more applicable. But kind of, I guess, scoping out a little bit, talking about precision upgrades as a whole, there's a whole bunch of different products that we offer precision upgrades through. So whether it's through your combine, your sprayer that we're talking about, planting is another really big one. We've got things for air seeders as well. And then as we all maybe have heard here recently, we've also got the autonomous upgrade kit as well that can go on your 8 or 9 series tractor as well. So a lot of different products that we offer through a bunch of different types of machinery.
Back to our growers, how has See and Spray affected your off-season conversations, or how have you leveraged data in the operations center based on See and Spray technology?
I guess the biggest thing, when you're trying to figure out how much chemical you prepay or buy or order, book, look at your past, what we saved, and then try to mimic this year, hopefully, and have the same amount of savings.
I think the operations center, in the future here, I'm thinking every year it will build more. And so you have your weed pressure maps that you can overlay year to year, and you know exactly where your problem spots are, for instance, the edges or whatever. But I think in the future here, it'll just build, and you'll have more information to use to make better decisions, not only purchasing, but as applied.
And I guess now with the new combines, you can map your weed pressure also, which probably need to take into account.
What about from the support side, Hayden, and data that we have in the operations center, even I guess for you, Wyatt, too, data that we have, how does that help us support our customers through that technology advancement and year over year?
Yeah, so really exactly what these guys said. How can we do better with what we've got? I mean, changing farming practices, your chemistries, in some cases maybe in varieties in areas of the fields that have been problematic over time. So that's been the biggest one, I guess, I've seen case to case.
How would you like to be supported from your equipment manufacturer or your dealer with these technology upgrades? Could be See and Spray, could be any of the other technology upgrades. But I guess what is your expectation on support? How could we do better to support you through these changes in your operation?
I think kind of what you're doing here is a good step for sure. You have so many different employees that are specialized in certain things that you can ask anything about, and even just be in contact with, so you can contact later when something does come up. A lot of it's just having the support behind what you're selling, and knowing that we can call somebody and our questions are going to be answered. Also, parts availability was nice too, but just to keep us in the field and keep us running.
Yeah, I'd have to go with that. I mean, I couldn't ask for better support on that side of it. When I had a problem or we needed to fine tune it or whatnot, they were on the phone. I think it was Easter, Hank's been out there with me on a issue, and it was Easter Sunday and he was out there. So support was there 100%. And they look at your ops there, they know what you're doing, and they can come back and help you and kind of herd you along on the new stuff that you need to look at.
What kind of proactive support are you both looking at as you advance in this technology, have more data available? Does that change your expectation at all?
Probably the biggest thing is we all just need to utilize what we already have. Like, guys have so much stuff and we're not using the full amount that we paid for already.
Yeah, and I'd say, from our perspective, we have heard a lot about AI, artificial intelligence, being here, and it is here, trying to figure out how that impacts our business, how we better support our customers because of the amount of data. I talked in a class this morning about quality data too, because that's extremely important that we have a good quality data set to help make some of those decisions and don't provide the wrong information or the wrong answer, right? So I think very important from the dealership side, from our growers' perspective, that we're always focused on getting the right information into the operations center at the right time and then leveraging those new capabilities. So, Hayden, you have anything to that?
Yeah, I guess, we talk a lot of new iron and we talk a lot of precision upgrade kits here, but to build on what these guys are talking, I mean, using what you've got already, we did a case study on a real life application, the third party, basically co-op, and we looked at their sprayers. They went from no boundaries, no work plans, no nothing. So they bought a gator, decked it out, started mapping high quality boundaries and building work plans. And just by doing that, we added 2% to their working time. So when you're talking a piece of equipment that's a couple $100 an hour, I mean, 2% at the end of the year is some serious dollars. And they just did that with what they already had.
No, I think that was a good point. You kind of look back at the precision technology journey as far as, back whenever we came out with auto track and section controls. Those are some of the most high ROI pieces of technology that you can have on your farm. So now we're just continuously progressing off of that. We've got some stuff out today, especially with planters and sprayers as we're hearing today. But if we have time, maybe some model year 27 stuff that it's exciting to look forward to as well. So,
Sure. No, if you want to go ahead, you can talk about some model question about model year 27 stuff. So feel free to enlighten us on what precision upgrades are coming.
So I just learned about this last week. So hot off the press, right? So not an expert by any means, but I've got some stuff for you. So for See and Spray going forward, we've had some issues with fallback mode, especially on that center frame, on that boom. So we're going to be able to move those cameras up to the front of that sprayer. So that will be coming in new for these newer kits. For Ink Pro, so that's the step below Exact Apply. So the single turret. For Ink Pro, we can go down to 80 and 90 foot booms. And then for crop season 27, so not this crop season this year, but next year, we're looking at variable rate for premium and ultimate machines. So basically detecting biomass and then depending on how much rate we want to put on those each individual weeds. From the harvest standpoint, we've got Harvest Tech upgrade. So we're looking at model year 25 and newer S7s and then X9. So you can go from a select to a premium to an ultimate, or you can go all the way from a select to an ultimate as well too. Next, Exact Shot is going to be compatible with ME5E. So previously it was just Exact Shot. So now we're going to be able to expand it to the other electric meter option. Let me just see if I can explain this in a very simple way. Whenever you order a planter upgrade, we had what was called core upgrades and then optional upgrades. So every planter order that we put in for a kit had to have at least one of the core upgrades to go with it, and then you can order as many optional upgrades along with that same order. Well, now what we can do is we can order easy adjust row cleaners and pneumatic closing wheels just by itself on a kit. So we don't have to have a core features such as maybe an IRHD kit or a meter kit or something with the fertilizer. We can order those standalone now. And then the other one, Furrow Vision. I don't know how common this one is, but Furrow Vision is 3 cameras across the planter, and it's basically a camera in between your gauge wheels and your closing wheels, and it's looking into your trench before it gets closed. So it's looking at the depth and then how much residue, and then kind of determining what is the quality of the sidewalls of that trench as well. So John Deere uses the term sense and act. The sensing is those cameras looking into that furrow. The acting is you as the operator making decisions based off what you're seeing. Well, now coming into this upcoming year, we will now be able to do acting through the system itself. So it's going to be able to see what's going on in that trench and then make the adjustments accordingly, depending on what you put in your display. And then the last one I got for you, relative flow blockage. So we're going to be able to put those kits on some air seeders now as well too. So that's what you can look forward to in 27. Cool.
And maybe a pre-seeded question, maybe you can utilize some of those or there possibly are other things. I'm sure there's other things. As growers, what would you like to see next from John Deere on See and Spray specifically, or any other technologies that you're looking at?
I guess the biggest thing on See and Spray is we have sugar beets, so I'd like to be able to do sugar beets with it.
Good. Coming. 27.
I guess I wouldn't be a true farmer if I didn't say cheaper, but I don't know. I understand the rate thing per acre, what you don't spray on, for example, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That's the only thing I could think of is pinch the pennies, I guess.
$6 corn.
That would be great. Alex, you and I talked earlier about some of the custom work that you do or contract work that you do, and being able to estimate your chemical. Can you talk through that?
So that's a big question mark with the See and Spray. Sometimes it would be nice to know exactly how much to mix up for a field before you go out and spray it, so you don't have anything left over in a perfect world, right? That would be something. I don't know how you figure that out. I mean, with your weed pressure maps and things like with the combine and stuff, and that's what I was leading to earlier. Hopefully you can lay those over and kind of get a good estimate, but I guess that would be a huge improvement.
So I guess I'll touch on that. And we didn't talk earlier, but Deere acquired a drone company called Centera. So what they're looking at is flying fields ahead of time. And then you'll have a weed pressure map going into that field, so you know exactly how much to mix for that field. Scalability-wise, I know because it's usually fly-by-wire and you're there with a 3-hour notice. So that's definitely a hot topic and something that's being thought about pretty in-depth. The other thing that'll be coming or that they're trying to work on is being able to pull a weed pressure map every time you make a pass across the field. So not just when See and Spray's turned on. So
okay, it'd be nice, as many satellites as there are out there now. In theory, we should be able to use those, I would think. But
what kind of information are you both looking at, kind of going into a field to determine, sensitivity levels, yes, chemical availability, but how has that progressed as far as changing those parameters and settings on your See and Spray machine?
I guess I would rather over apply than under. You're still saving. Your savings is still huge, but it's still more valuable since you're out there. You might as well get it done right. And I set them a little bit broader, or maybe I try to aim for the higher rate too, gallons per acre in that aspect, because you're still not applying as much as you would normally.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You can hit it with a little hotter rate.
Anything from the John Deere perspective as far as, some of those capabilities or other things you can share with us?
Yeah, I mean, you probably heard every John Deere employee say it's coming soon, right? Like, we're working on it. A lot of times what we see, I've got some folks back where I'm from that they run See and Spray as well. And what they do, I mean, they have a pretty good idea, especially after a year of running it. They have a pretty good idea of how much, weed pressure is in the field and how much to fill up with the sprayer. Worst comes to worst, you overestimate, and then you broadcast the rest of the field so that you have an empty tank at the end of the day. So we've seen that very commonly as well too.
Are there any other technologies, I guess, connectivity-wise or any external third-party connections that you guys are doing in Op Center that help your operation?
I mean, you can give it to your seed dealer, your crop scout, or whatever else, so they can scout it out, make it easier through Op Center. But
I mean, is there anything you want to share as far as that conversation with your agronomist and any other of your other trusted advisors based on technology advancements?
I think it's a huge team thing, really. And the more information you have, usually the more educated decisions you can make. But there's also a lot of that you need to weed through and be selective, I guess, of what you're using for your information with your other teammates, with the agronomy side and seed dealers and things.
yeah, and that's a big ask that we have, and I think it'll be even more applicable here soon. But we were just having this conversation earlier. What we really need in this day and age is, like in your situation, if you're doing some custom work, an easier way to share data or machines between organizations, because to your point, there's a value to that data. And right now it's pretty cumbersome to share between Op Center accounts. So,
yeah, and I don't know how many of you out there to actually custom apply as well, but trying to figure out that billing rate or whatever, how to charge for that See and Spray side of things too. There's other benefits like what you're talking about, those maps to the customer also that they would be getting out of that. But that's something that I'd be curious to see too, I guess, as to a good way to fairly treat everybody in a billing aspect.
Hey, maybe a question specifically for you. We do trials and we have our own test farm that we want to leverage this equipment on. Can you kind of talk through what our goal is at that test farm and how, and also tie to that some of that ROI piece that we have for our growers?
Yeah, we've got 200 acres up here by Severance that we primarily use for training. So training a lot of our sales folks and our internal people, I guess. From a technology standpoint, as dumb as this sounds, I didn't realize how much we would be able to relate to what you guys are doing now. With the economy that we have and even the technology that we have now, we are really looking hard at what we can cut and what we're doing different and how we can leverage the technology that we have out at that farm. So it gives us a pretty good down-to-earth reality check, I think, sometimes, to be honest with you. Kind of keeps us level-headed. And it's the nice thing is if we have questions that we want to find an answer to that we don't want to try on some of your ground, if we go out there and plant corn and smoke 50 acres of it, oh well, there's always next year. Like, we're not taking home a paycheck off of it. So that's the nice thing about it too.
What about the ROI side? How as a dealer, and you can comment on this too, Wyatt, as far as how can we prove out that ROI for customers who are maybe looking to adopt this technology?
The other big reason that we have that farm is you read all these Deere numbers that Deere's got published. Well, that's from the I-States. That does us zero good out here. So that's the other part of it, trying to get data that means something to us down here. So good, bad, or indifferent. I mean, we've tried things out at the farm that on paper work great in Iowa and have been a flop out here.
Yeah, definitely repeat what he said as far as, if you're trying to give some sort of agronomic data to some folks down in the, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and you say, well, according to Iowa, they immediately turn your back on you, and rightfully so. So we obviously encourage dealers, say, if you have an opportunity to have some acres where you can do some of these plots with newer technology, prove that it works in your area. That's definitely a route that we go. Another route that we've gone from the Deere point of view is we try to have some test facilities out throughout the U.S. And one as of recently that I'm biased towards is we put one in Austin, Texas that we do a lot of research on, and then a lot of testing, whether it's the software, the technology, or whatever else it might be. We've got ground where, it's hard as a concrete because all they do is just software testing back and forth on it, just making sure that it works. But then they've also got productive ground that we're able to collect the data, not manipulate, but use that within Operations Center and then kind of present that to folks in the surrounding area. Say, hey, this technology does work in our area. We'd be curious in what it could do for you, and maybe work with your local dealer in order to make that happen.
Yeah, and I would say, kind of piggybacking on Hayden here, the trials that we do are very beneficial, not only with maybe technologies or equipment you're looking at going into, but also we can do trials with your existing equipment as well, and figure out how we can help you understand those input costs and how those can change year over year. And, we want to be that partner with you as well, supporting the equipment and knowing what it can do and what you have access to as well. Final question, I guess we'll just kind of go down the line here, but, what would you like to leave this group of fantastic growers with, to just kind of final comments on technology or upgrades and where that best opportunity is from your perspective?
I guess if we're talking about the sprayers, the See and Spray and the Reclaim have come a long ways. Reclaim was a big changer, it's Exact Apply, and now the See and Spray. Like to see it. I think halfway through the year we got up to 15 mile an hour with See and Spray. If we get 18 or 20, it'd be better. But
sorry, I'm going to interrupt you and ask a follow-up question. What's been the biggest change that's been made the biggest impact for you in See and Spray?
Well, like I said, savings, but yeah, I mean, once the new software was going faster, made a big difference this year.
Yep. Yeah, going from 12 to 15 was huge, just within 1 year. I guess I would say leave with you, be open-minded when it comes to some of these upgrade kits, because they do work and they will save you money, and it's still a lot cheaper than buying a new piece of equipment, which I know that they're in the business of, but with the ag economy the way it is, I think this is a good option.
I was going to say, I've done 2 corn planters, and I got along really well with the PIP kits on those also.
Yeah, I guess what I would close with is, down south, a lot of upgrades that I see commonly down there with our sprayers and with our planters. So whether it's replacing your whole row unit, or we can do a meter-only kit as well, those are significantly less expensive than what the ultimate row units, which is basically the parallel arms back to the rest of the row unit. Fertilizer system, whether it's Exact Shot or Exact Rate. And then obviously you've got your sprayer with See and Spray on it as well. You get a lot of those high ROI pieces that do have a license fee with them, whether that's a per acre or more of like an annual based license. Those are the pieces of technology that have those tied to it that have the high opportunity to have a high ROI on your farm as well. So don't be afraid to look into the numbers and see what it can do for your farm.
Yeah, kind of same thing. I'll just say don't knock it till you try it. I mean, I'll get on my corporate John Deere soapbox here for a minute, but I think as an equipment manufacturer, we've got probably the best tools to ground truth what we're trying to prove. So don't knock it till you try it, I guess.
No, and I'd say the same thing. Hands down, don't think I'm biased at all making this statement that the best technology in the agriculture industry is on these pieces of equipment and through Deere. And for the first time probably ever is we can prove an ROI with all these upgrades with latest machines. And that really hasn't been the case, in the past. And so technology advancements, data capabilities all feed into that and help us provide that information to you as growers as well. With that, thank you specifically to Stetson and Alex for joining us up here. Thank you for your business at 21st Century Equipment. Glad to be your partner and thank you for trusting us to help you take that leap. So and of course we get to be lucky enough to work with a great manufacturer in John Deere. So Wyatt, thanks for joining us up here as well. And we appreciate you all as customers of 21st Century Equipment. We want to help you understand that ROI as well. So reach out to one of us, reach out to your sales professional, and let us help you understand that. But help me give these gentlemen a round of applause, please. Thank you.
And just so it's clear, we did not get paid to be up here, just so you know. So we're speaking from our heart.
Yeah, if Alex knows or knew then what he knows now, he probably wouldn't have answered my phone call in the first place.
Yeah, except my sprayer got cleaned up real nice.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, everybody.